This class will be very, very short on topic number 5, corporate restructuring. And we shall look at 3 key things. So what are we looking at here? We are looking at, of course, the theories. Yeah, even that will may not be possible because we are mixing. We are mixing these students here. All right. So chapter number 5, restructuring and reorganization. So we have to do 3 key things here. So of course, there is a theory background. We have to do the models of measuring bankruptcy, what we call Springate, Altman's. Yeah, very, very important for your exam. And then the other one, which is very important for your exam, is the Altman's. Yeah, Altman's A score, that is Argenti. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, whenever we talk of restructuring and reorganization, we are looking at those organizations that are struggling financially. Those companies that are struggling financially, we shall never leave them to die. Yes, today they are on their knees. Yeah, like Mumias. You can see what is happening. It is insolvent. The liabilities of Mumia Sugar today are more than its assets. It's insolvent. But should we leave it there and then we say that we are finance experts? No. As finance experts, we shall get a way of ensuring that it comes up on its feet. So corporate restructuring is a process of reorganizing a company's operations, ownership, or financial structure to improve profitability, efficiency, or adapt to changes in the environment. Remember the other day, ladies and gentlemen, Kenya Airways, there was a financial restructuring. Yeah, remember they had what we call a syndicated loan, a loan that was given to them by 3 banks. So when they realized that, hey, we are not able to pay the installments for these loans on time, instead of suffering all the penalties, what do? Let's call these banks, and instead of giving them back their money, let's give them our shares. That's a financial restructuring. Most of you could be working for organizations that have done operational reorganization. Yeah, where, for example, you happen to be having so many operations. You say, hey, we are now going to stop producing this product. We are going to stop having so many directors. So in this case, we are doing an operational restructuring, even ownership. You can bring in new owners. It aims to enhance shareholder value, reduce costs, and ensure business survival in this dynamic market. So operational restructuring is changing production, marketing, or management systems. Yeah, operations, Yeah, production, marketing, yeah. Financial restructuring is adjusting capital structure, the debt to equity mix. So if you feel that you are highly indebted, what do? Instead of returning back the money, you tell those guys, hey, come, we do a debt equity swap. We give you our shares, you forgive us the debt. Then we have organizational structure where we modify the hierarchy, reporting or control systems. Then we have portfolio. Portfolio, of course, we know our portfolio of investments. If we realize that this investment is not working very well, we can run away from it. Yeah, and then of course you can also buy other assets. So under portfolio restructuring, acquiring or disposing of business units to realign strategy, indicators or symptoms that your company needs restructuring. When you realize that your profits are declining year in, year out, in this case, your profits are declining or your losses are becoming bigger and bigger. When you realize that your debt levels are rising, yeah, when you have liquidity problems, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. CEOs, CFOs, it will be very hard for those guys to fall sick. When as a supplier, you go to pick a check and then you're told that the CEO is sick, that the CFO is a signatory to this check is sick. Know that those guys have liquidity. What here? In most cases, they'll be having liquidity problems. That's a company that should be restructured. Inefficient asset utilization. Look at a company, ladies and gentlemen, like Mumias. This thing has so huge assets, but are they being utilized effectively, optimally? No. Declining sales, loss of market share or competitive position. You're not able to compete. Low employee morale and a high turnover. I mean, especially when you realize that the directors, the CEO, the CFO, operations manager, they are resigning. There must be something wrong from that or rather in that organization. Frequent management changes or governance issues, negative cash flows, and delayed creditor payments. These are very common in your exams. Causes of financial distress. What causes organizations to be financially distressed, to get into liquidity issues? Yeah, poor management decisions and weak corporate governance. Now, ladies and gentlemen, remember what you normally study from, or rather what you normally study in your audit and assurance. That, for example, we should not have the CEO and the chairman of the board, those two key positions being given, sorry, there is a problem. It's a new topic number 5. We just want to move very fast over it. Yeah, want to move very fast over it. It's revision, yeah. I like when students say that we have done that and then they even run away from class and then they realize that whatever we study here is what will be in your exams. Yeah, just be there. Just be there. All right. Causes of financial distress. So you see, like, for example, when you have one individual who takes over key roles, yeah, as an individual, that this person is the chairman and is the CEO, he'll be having what we call too much power. And if he's greedy, then automatically that corporate will not work. Those are corporate governance issues. If there are corporate governance issues, then at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, what will happen here is that this organization will collapse. Over leveraging and high finance cost, issues to do with debt, inefficient operations and cost overruns. Yeah, decline in demand or technological obsolescence, unfavorable economic or regulatory changes, fraud, misappropriation, or weak internal controls, excessive diversification without strategic focus. Ladies and gentlemen, look at what happened to Nakumat. Nakumat, some time back, if you remember very well, he used to tell us that if you need it, we've got it. But at some time in this case here, these guys became illiquid. They became bankrupt simply because of what here? Overtrading. Remember, in overtrading, you will go outside there, yeah, being very aggressive in terms of opening new branches, yeah, until you get into what we call thin capitalization. But now, ladies and gentlemen, let me be very factual with you. What normally causes this financial distress? It is the tone at the top. So it has been long since I saw your faces, ladies and gentlemen. Is there somebody who is able to put on their camera? Today, Mwalimu would want to see you. Let Mwalimu get to see you today. Please put on your cameras. Put on your cameras. You can see mine is clear. Yeah, live, free, man. Please put on your cameras. I would want to see like 100 people. Yeah, I can see where they are. Thank you so much. I want to see you guys. I can see in Phoenix, but I can't see the name here. Maslin, great. I can see Dorothy there. No, Dorothy has not put on their camera. Most of these ninjas are not putting on their cameras. Why? Is there somebody who is shy? You shall never be shy. They're not putting on their cameras. I want to see them today. These ninjas, I want to see them today. Lincoln, put on your camera. This guy who tells us that he's in the US. Thank you, Caro. Thank you, Rose. So I want you guys to do me a favor. Yeah. Is it possible in this case here that you guys touch your chin? Can you touch your chin like this? Yeah, touch your chin. Yeah, thank you so much. Please, this is not the chin. The chin is this. This is what we call the chin. Why did all of you in this case attach this as your chin, knowing very well that the chin is this one? It's because of, here, I'm your leader. I'm your leader. And as a leader, I told you to touch the chin and I touched here. What calls organizations into big problems is the management, the tone at the top. If we have thieves as chief executive officers, they are setting bad example, this organization automatically will become bankrupt. That is the biggest cause of bankruptcy. Thank you so much. Now you can put off your cameras. And thanks for passing my exam. Thanks for passing my exam. Great. Thank you. Thank you. All right. All right. And how comes most of you feared putting on your cameras? You weren't ready for your face to be seen here, or what? We shall overcome. Mwalimu, you are still, Phyllis, you are in bed. So you're taking AFM, the face is not, okay. Oh, no makeup, okay. We shall overcome, okay. We shall overcome, no worries, no worries. The kids are good. The kids, you cannot hide them. The kids are marvelous. You should have brought them on board. I mean, okay. So forms of financial distress, this question came in August 2024, and it was done very, very poorly. Forms of financial distress and their solutions. So forms of distress. So we have liquidity crisis. Yeah, inability to meet short-term obligations. What could you do? Yeah, rescheduling debt. Don't run away from your debt providers. Talk to them. Call upon the owners of the business to inject working capital. Then we have solvency crisis. When you are insolvent, your liabilities exceed assets. Yeah, and when you're insolvent, automatically there is nobody who will be willing to give you money, not even banks. So the very best here will be the debt equity swap. Yeah, debt equity swap. Think of reducing this capital, especially if there are losses. If there are losses, don't agree with these shareholders that their equity capital is high there. Tell them we are reducing this. You must absorb the losses so that we can now start convincing you to bring in more money. Yeah, capital reduction. Then you can think about mergers, yes, instead of you going to the grave. Then we have operational inefficiency, where you have got so huge high costs. Yeah, employees are not able to produce, low productivity. So we need what we call business process reengineering, consider our automation. Profitability decline is a form of distress, where revenue is less than cost. Yeah, talk of product redesign. Yeah, cost control, or even market better. Considerations in designing a restructuring program. When you are designing a structuring program, what in this case do you need to do? Conduct a comprehensive diagnostic review. Try to get your health status. How are you in terms of financials, operations, market? Yeah, identify root causes of distress, not just the symptoms. If it is the senior management who have the problem, who are setting a bad example, no, let them be fired. Develop feasible turnaround strategies aligned with corporate goals. Ensure stakeholder involvement. Don't run away from anybody. Call all these stakeholders, the shareholders. We have in this case here the bond providers, all right? The bondholders. Talk to them. Evaluate legal and the tax implications. Set clear implementation timelines and the performance indicators, the key performance indicators. Maintain transparent communication to rebuild trust, even with customers. Communicate with them. Some of them may be wanting their refunds. Maybe you are a land selling company. You have messed up a little bit here and there. Tell them the truth. Don't view them as enemies. Financial reconstruction forms capital reduction. This also came the other time. Yeah, capital reduction. Yeah, capital reduction, you write off all accumulated losses. Let these shareholders who think that they have got capital in this organization realize the big magnitude, yeah, of these losses on their share capital. Debt restructuring, conversion of debt into equity, or negotiation of terms. Issue of new shares to raise fresh capital. Consider in this case here mergers or coming together with other organizations. Yeah, you combine stronger firms. Impact on share price may lead to initial decline due to uncertainty, but long-term appreciation if confidence is restored. Whenever you're doing a financial reconstruction, these people that you are putting together, initially they may not be happy. You will see in this case here, your market price per share for sure going down. Initially, yes. But of course, as time goes by, confidence will be restored. You'll be able to see in this case here, the market value of this organization going up. Impact on WACC, you shall be able to do some mathematics regarding this. Yeah, because now you are swapping debt and equity, we expect the WACC to reduce. We expect the weighted average cost of capital to reduce. And of course, as WACC reduces, then the firm value will increase. Yeah, impact on WACC. Excessive debt, however, increases financial risk and may raise WACC beyond optimal levels. The very best way of restructuring is to try to retire the debt. When you retire the debt, and of course the equity will now be higher proportionately, you're going to reduce your WACC. And when you reduce the WACC, the firm value will increase. Of course, when you're restructuring, you can as well think of partnering with a bank to give you some loan. However, excessive debt will automatically increase even your financial risk further, which will raise WACC beyond optimal levels. Then, ladies and gentlemen, we have what we call portfolio reconstruction. And this is very common. Look at your past papers all over. So under portfolio reconstruction, we are supposed to teach you about unbundling of your farm. When the farm becomes so huge, you are not able to run it. What do? You unbundle it. To bundle is to put together, like a bundle of unga, 12 packets of unga. That's a bundle. To unbundle is to open up and then you split. This happens whenever an organization is so huge. Yeah. So one of the very best ways of unbundling is to divest. You see, divest is the opposite of invest. When I'm investing, I'm buying an asset. When I'm divesting, I'm selling off an asset. So in this case, if it's RCM, instead of having RCM for books, RCM for whatever, primary school, divest, sell. So you sell off non-core business units. Then we have demerger. Demerger is splitting a company into independent entities so that they are run independently. They have different management and different structures. It's a demerger. By splitting them that way, and not even selling, but just splitting them that way, efficiency could go up. Then we have these three that not many students are able to differentiate. A spin-off. You know, ladies and gentlemen, basically music is nice, right? It brings people together, all right? Yeah, music does not know this is a child, this is an old lady, an old man. Music is so good. And of course, if you are in this world of music or if you listen to music, you must be knowing who a DJ is. Those guys will spin some disc jockeys, eh? Yeah, some discs, they spin like this and then they make people happy. In the morning, people go home. If you like those things at night, great. So the same case with spin-off. If, for example, you're looking at a big company like Safaricom, yeah, they could easily, for purpose of unbundling, create a new company out of Safaricom and maybe call it M-Pesa. So now we shall be having two companies out of Safaricom. We'll be having Safaricom Telecommunications and we'll be having, in this case here, M-Pesa Limited. Now, you see, The shareholders of Safaricom Telecommunications will feel cheated if this M-Pesa new company limited is sold to outsiders. They can only agree to this kind of an arrangement if it's a spin-off, if this disc is simply made to revolve around them. It doesn't get out to new shareholders. So a spin-off and a spin-off, we create a new company by distributing shares to existing shareholders. So we shall create a new company, and the shares of the new company will be sold to existing shareholders. It's a spinning over a company. Yeah, so it will revolve on its axis, but around ourselves, amongst ourselves. That's a spin-off. A sell-off, you will be able to create a new company, and now this time round, you sell all the shares to outsiders. That's a sell-off. You create a new company, and because now these existing shareholders don't want to bring in money, they don't believe in this company anymore. So in that case, then to raise cash for ourselves, what do we do? And our sell off the shares of the newly created company will be sold to external shareholders. That's a sell off. How about a carve out? So a carve out, we shall be able to create a new company like Safaricom, M-Pesa now. Yeah, these existing shareholders may not be able to afford all the shares of this new company. Then what do we do under a carve out? We simply take off a few shares of this new company and sell them to outside shareholders. So under a carve out, it will be a partial sale of this new company, to outsiders. That's a carve out. For those of you, ladies and gentlemen, who normally read the business daily, you must have seen in this case like what the government is planning to do with Kenya Pipeline. So remember, these are government entities. So like now Kenya Pipeline, they don't want to sell like the whole of it. They have a plan of course, pushing it slowly to the market through what we call an initial public offer. But remember, what do they normally do? Just like they do with Safaricom, they can sell like 50% of the shares. Yeah. Then in this case here, when these shares appreciate, but now they keep on offloading. So in this case, they carve out. It's pie by pie, small by small, like that. So it's a partial sale of a subsidiary or of a new company that has been created from your existing company through an initial public offering. Ladies and gentlemen, in your own language. Fortunately, Mwalimu here is really blessed to know very, very many languages. Yeah. In your own language. It could be Kiswahili, it could be English, it could be Kikuyu. Kwanza ile ya Nyeri tunasema wakia maito, hata wengine hata wajui na Wakikuyu. Yeah, it wouldn't differentiate. Just try to differentiate for me between spin off, sell off, and carve out. Just try in your own way, and don't take this for granted. Don't take this for granted. In your own way. How have you understood this? Great, CPA Peggy, great. Great. So what is a spin-off? You can start with that one. What is a sell-off? Sell-off is very easy to define. Those are types of unbundling, types of unbundling. You know, demerger, you're not selling anything, ZD. Demerger, you're simply splitting off a company to independent entities so that we can run those independent entities in an easier way to make each one of them efficiently managed. Creating new companies and then spin-off, you sell shares to existing shareholder. For sell-off, you sell, thank you so much. Spin-off, selling new shares to the existing shareholders, yes. Understood, great. Thank you, Helen. Great. Spin-off, creating new company, selling shares to existing, sell-off, creating new company, and selling shares to new shareholders. Yes, I like the way that you guys are able to now put this in your own language. In your own language. The only one I haven't seen anybody defining is the carve out. carve out, we create a new company, but we sell some of the shares to new shareholders. We sell part of the company. We sell part of the company. We sell part of the company. Yeah. We sell part of the company to new shareholders. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. With your permission, then I will be able to, in this case here, continue. We have liquidation. Liquidation, you close down unviable operations. Yeah, when you're liquidated, ladies and gentlemen, basically you're bankrupt, and whatever small assets, which even don't make value, are sold. Basically, you're closing down unviable operations. Then we have strategic alliances where we talk about joint ventures or partnerships. The government of Kenya is very, very big on strategic alliances. Look at, for example, what they've been doing with the Kenya Railways. They bring in a partner. Unfortunately, we believe in partners from outside a lot. Yeah, so they may bring an Egyptian this time round. So they run Kenya Railways on a 50-50 percent shareholding. So the government of Kenya is left with 50%. Then they give this strategic investor 50%. They have done that with telecom. But unfortunately, in Kenya here, strategic alliances do not work out. They are not good. In Kenya here, one of the very best ways of unbundling, which normally works very, very, very well, is this concept of IPO. IPO, initial public offering. Yeah, if you look at, for example, Safaricom, my good students, Safaricom was a department within telecom. And they were able to unbundle it from telecom, and they gave it wings, and it flew. It is now getting a little bit down because of politics, but otherwise, Safaricom is really a great, great company. But if you look at the share price nowadays, going down, a few issues here and there, but we shall overcome. So in Kenya, strategic alliances don't work. For those of you who will be working for government, please stop this thing called strategic alliances. It doesn't work because of what? Because of corruption. Normally what happens, like now Telecom Kenya is being run on a strategic alliance model. What will happen is that Telecom will keep on saying we have made a loss of 6 billion. They keep on declaring losses. When they declare losses like that, what happens, ladies and gentlemen? The government will be told to pay their part of the loss. Look at Hilton. You see, Hilton was a strategic alliance. The government of Kenya owned about 49%. Yeah, it was a minority shareholder for so long. And then now we have these other guys, in this case, from big hotel, but it kept on making, in this case, losses. Of course, there are also other factors, but at the end of the day, where the government is involved, things will never be nice, especially governments in Africa. Whenever they're doing business, it will be very, very hard for things to be nice there because of democracy. You see, ladies and gentlemen, you may argue out, but some of us who have done enough research, we can tell you democracy is very, very costly. Democracy is not the best because democracy is all about pleasing people that you would want to give you votes in the future. The cost of pleasing these people kills these nations. Look at, for example, what the Kenya government is doing through these empowerment schemes. Who are you empowering? All right. I mean, there are better ways of empowering people than giving them direct cash. The work of government is not to give a capital to people. The work of government is to provide peace first, ensure that we have this infrastructure running very well, the common infrastructure, and many other great things, right? But not empowering, all right? That is why if you ask me, look at most of these countries, of course, they are not 100%. These countries, in this case, that have got king and queen, yeah, monarchy, like Dubai is a monarchy. Yeah, those countries tend to work out better in the long run. In the long run. So you and I, we shall just agree that we are not loyal, or royal, I mean, we are not of the royalty family. Then let's just appoint a royalty family and it runs over. Then they will be able to I mean, yeah, because strategic alliances and many of these things, ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you, it's all, democracy is all about theft and theft and theft and theft. There's nothing like it. So what democracy was exercised in Tanzania the other day? Nothing. Nothing. But that is very good food for thought, especially when you guys will be coming to do political philosophy with us next year, when we'll be doing this course called CPFM, public. Yeah, we'll be able to teach you about those models. David Getonga, thank you so much. You're saying Kagame is doing very well. Are you sure that Kagame, they are exercising democracy? You know, we should start, first of all, by looking at that. Is Kagame, let's continue. We'll talk about that later, but I like those kind of discussions. They're nice. They're nice. Now, so strategic alliances, we've said, ladies and gentlemen, here you'll be able to pick up ventures and then invite strategic partners. Then we have management buyout. Management buyout, I liked Chris Kirubi because Chris Kirubi was very good in terms of management buyout and management buy-in. Very, very good. So if Chris Kirubi in this case here was a shareholder, yeah, a shareholder of one of these big companies, and then he realized that most of the shareholders are not happy. What he used to do was to buy out all those existing shareholders. Yeah, he tried to gain control over companies that he was a shareholder. So under management buyout, ladies and gentlemen, we look at, for example, RCM. We are teachers at RCM. We realize that RCM is a big brand, we as teachers, but the directors are joking around. So instead of them having this big brand collapsing, we sweet talk them, we give them money. So we are able to buy this particular entity from within. So we basically buy the directors of RCM, they go out there. So in this case here, whenever we talk of management buyout, here, the existing shareholders, yeah, the existing managers will be able to buy the organization. The existing managers will be able to buy RCM. They could be teachers, they could, existing managers. Yeah, existing managers, in this case here, are able to buy this organization. So under a management buyout, it is internal managers who will be able to buy out the existing shareholders. Internal or existing managers, they buy out the current shareholders. And then we have this management buy-in. Chris was also big with this. Yeah, Chris, they would in this case here scout for a troubled organization, an organization that has issues. They would look around and see, for example, this company has got issues. So what were they doing? Then they come as experts. They come as experts. So they come as experts and buy an organization and take over management. So under a management buy-in, I normally see those expert managers coming from outside to buy RCM. So under management buy-in, they are walking in. External managers acquire control. Acquire control. You need to know how to differentiate between management buyout and management buy-in. And they are there in your past papers. Under management buyout, ladies and gentlemen, we can see existing managers buying out the current shareholders. Existing managers buy their farm. They buy their farm, and then in this case here, the other managers and shareholders walk out. They disappear. Under management buy-in, we have external managers now coming to acquire this company, and they take control. Whenever you hear of leverage means debt. Yeah, acquisition financed largely by debt. So I hope you guys, you will be okay. You'll be okay with that question. Relevance of portfolio reconstruction. Why should you do a portfolio reconstruction? When you have shares as a company, you have shares of Kenya Airways, you have shares of these other companies, and then you feel that you are constrained, your liquidity is not good, you'll need to start selling off some portfolios and buying in new ones. All right. So relevance of portfolio reconstruction to focus on core competencies and profitability, improves resource allocation and managerial efficiency, unlocks shareholder value and improves market perception, enhances strategic flexibility and competitiveness, and enables exit from declining or non-synergistic sectors. Yeah, relevance of portfolio reconstruction, ladies and gentlemen, we want to focus. It's not good for you to spread your thin resources all over. We want to focus. We want, in this case here, to unlock shareholder value. Have a smaller farm that you are running, which in this case here now the current shareholders will be able to enjoy. Improve liquidity, improve resource allocation for managerial efficiency, etc. Organizational reconstruction. It involves redesigning the organizational structure, reporting lines, and management systems to enhance efficiency. So the organizational structure, you're reconstructing it. Yeah, redesigning the structure here, reporting lines and management systems benefits, streamline decision-making and accountability, reduced bureaucracy and duplication, improved coordination and communication, better employee motivation and performance. Other forms of restructuring, very important before I go to our past papers, to do only 3 questions and then we finish this class. Other forms of restructuring, operational restructuring, improving efficiency via cost reduction or automation. Then we have debt restructuring, refinancing, moratoriums, or in this case here, conversions. Yeah, debt restructuring, you can go for more debt. You can ask for debt forgiveness like these poor countries, or you can go for a debt equity swap. Legal restructuring, changing company form, e.g. private to public. Technological restructuring, adoption of digital tools and innovation. Human capital restructuring, training, retrenchment, redeployment. I know this is one area that many people don't like it, but please, we shall always prepare for this because it can come anytime. It can come anytime, Now, restructuring the public sector, they brought this question the other day. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, remember, in the public sector, sometimes back, as I was telling you the other day, you would get a situation where an employee was coming very early in the morning at around 9. They do 1, 2, 3. They take off their coat, hang it on their desks. Yeah, and then they walk away out there. They do their private things. They come around 3 p.m. They take their coat, do 1, 2, 3 for the government. They run away. That no longer happens. Nowadays, things in government are becoming so efficient. Some government parastatals have actually become so efficient, just like it is the case of a private sector. It's because of what here? Restructuring. And there are so many things that have really led to that change of even behavior. Yeah, for example, now in government, we are talking over, open office systems, isn't it? It never used to be there. So how do you hang your coat, ladies and gentlemen, in a situation where everybody is seeing that you are absent? Yeah. We have in this case involvement of the private sector in what the public sector is doing. Yeah, what we call public-private partnerships, like those strategic alliances. When you bring private people to come and partner with these public people, there'll be a lot of learning. Yeah, there'll be lots of motivations. All right. So all that, ladies and gentlemen, has led, and of course, nowadays, we also have a situation where these public servants are getting good monies. It's very, very easy for you to get a CEO of a public sector company, ladies and gentlemen, in this case here, earning 1.2 million. It never used to be like that. Just the other day, about 20 years ago, you would get a public servant getting 7,000 Kenyan shillings. honestly speaking, 7,000, and you expect this person to come and stay in the office from 8 to 5. A man must survive. A man must survive. A man must survive. A man must survive. Yeah, also performance management. Nowadays, we have what we call the KPIs, key performance indicators. Yeah, these guys are also being given targets. They're being given targets. Thank you, Lynette. Please give me these other things. Yeah, there is clock in system. You can see that. I even never knew that. Clock in system. Which company is this? Alfred, SHA office. I believe it's because SHA still had a little confusion here and there. But trust you me, overally, the government, even some county governments right now, they are very, very efficient. They are very, very efficient. They are very, very efficient. Sure, it's because of the issues, employees were being kind of retrenched. I mean, whenever a retrenchment concept is mentioned anywhere, there'll always be that fear. Yeah, so restructuring in the public sector, driven by the need for efficiency, transparency, and service delivery, involves privatization, commercialization, or corporatization of state entities. May include mergers of agencies, downsizing, or public-private partnership arrangements, supported by performance contracting and results-based management, aims at reducing physical burden and enhancing accountability. I like whenever I read the financial results of CIFA, you'll be able to see that CIFA proudly says that, hey, as we don't get money from the exchequer, whatever we are able to get in this case here from our business model is able to support us. They may not be giving a lot to the exchequer, yeah, but at least they are independent. There are not many organizations, ladies and gentlemen, which are being run by government that don't get money from exchequer. Again, because of what here? Theft and greediness. Remember, generally, especially this black skin. That's why at times, whenever I read our Bible, whenever I read my Bible, at times I tend to believe that there is this person who was cast, and he was told that he was cast together with all his entire generation. Do you remember that? Was it Ham? I can't remember very well, but there is that person. I believe that that person must have been a black man, because our desire, our greediness level as black people is really very, very bad. It's very, very bad. We are never satisfied. Look at a county like Nairobi County. Honestly speaking, do you think that Nairobi County should be getting anything from the exchequer? I doubt. If it was given to people who are selfless, people who are just workaholic, people who like working and they like truthfulness, Nairobi County can actually give surplus back to, in this case here, what here? The national government. Look at all the cars that are being parked in Nairobi. Look at even the land rates, just land rates alone. Ladies and gentlemen, please, as you get outside here, I would want to encourage you and advise you, because I've also been in this industry for long. I know of so many students of mine, accountants who used to be my students, who today, not one, not two, not three, who are in prison. Please, let's learn how to cut our coat according to the size of what here our cloth. Yeah, let's be ambitious, but stealing should never be the main thing. Because again, if you mess a little bit, people will go. I've always seen this. Like, I know somebody from some county I want to mention, because maybe he's even here. Yeah, they come and tell you, and again, accountants, we are so, I think, we are miserable. We are vulnerable. Because you'll get people who come and tell you that, you know what, we have about 10 million Kenya shillings here. You just sign and you'll get 5 million. And then us, we take 1,111. So you think like you're the king. Then they go ahead and tell you that, you know what, this money has to pass in your account. Are you crazy? Government money to pass through your account, you. I mean, if I was to take over, even for example, like CFO of a county government, yeah, I will ensure that every check that I must be very good in documentation because even your signatures are being forged. But remember, all these starts with you being greedy. Ladies and gentlemen, trust you me. You don't need a very, very big vehicle in this life. All these things are vanity. What you need in this case is something that can move you from point A to point B. And don't get me wrong. Don't say that, Mwalimu, you are preaching against being ambitious. I want you to be very ambitious. But please let that particular item be financed by your own sweat. You don't have to do like, look at someone like Tuju. Tuju has a very, very big building. Yeah, just around, if you know, uh, 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 what do we call this? Karen, we have the defense school for defense, something at the back there. You want to see this guy lives in a forest, big house, like I mean, a White House, big, like State House. But the great lady of the house leaves him, and he goes with a soldier without any rank. Not that that soldier at the gate was a major or even a colonel. That guy was a constabulary. No rank, not even a corporal. Now, this is the man that the wife chooses over. Yeah, compared to these three. So life is vanity, I can tell you. Don't get out there and then you start stealing. You're the guys who are messing us in the public sector. Because if accountants were very strong, if accountants were very, very strong, if we lived by what ISPAC is advising us, I'm telling you, Kenya would be very rich, very rich, very rich today. You must go to church. Now, I go to my past papers. So we would want a situation where the public sector is aiming at reducing the physical burden and enhancing accountability. Models of predicting corporate failure, and I would want us to start with, ladies and gentlemen, I would want us to start with a Springate model. Springate model. Under this Springate model, I would want us to do this past paper question. Springate model. This is the past paper question that I would want us to do right away. Yeah, accountants union to protect your interests. Yeah. Yeah, people must go to church. Yeah, people must go to church. All right. So shall we take a 5 minutes break? It's very, very important. We take a 5 minutes break and then we come back. We do 30 minutes maximum. We go to church, all of us. Does that sound like a good plan? Just 5 minutes break. Please don't run away. Don't run away. 5 minutes only. We come back at exactly 8:00. Yes. All right, so it's exactly 8:01, actually late by a minute. We shall overcome. All right. So then I would want us straight away to look at Springate. It's called Springate model. Springate model. Under this Springate, I would want us to do December 2021, question number 3. December 2021, question number 3. December 2021, question number 3. Once you get it, please say Y for yes. Once you get it, please say Y for yes. December 2021. December 2021. December 2021, question number 3. So December 2021, question number 3 reads, 𝐂𝐵𝐻. The following data relates to 𝐂𝐵𝐻 Limited, a company that operates in the manufacturing sector for the year ended 31st December 2020. You can see results there. So you can see we have sales, total assets, total liabilities, retained earnings, net working capital, earnings before interest and taxes, market value of equity, book value of total liabilities, 50/44. The company is currently paying interest on a long-term debt instrument amounting to 905,000. So interest for the year was 905,000. And the company's total liabilities of 50/44, these are the total liabilities. The total liabilities, 50/44, we are told in the ratio of 2:5 between current and non-current liabilities. So we have current and non-current liabilities. So current liability. So this is 2, this is 5, 2:5. So then that means what here? 2/7 proportion, because 2 plus 5 is 7. 2/7 be current liabilities. Non-current liabilities be 5/7. So therefore, the current liabilities, which I would need there, will be 2/7 times 50/44. I will need these current liabilities down there. Can you kindly give me this figure? Thank you very much. It's Springate. It's called Springate. Springate. Springate, not Springate. It's Springate. Springate model. Springate model. So is there somebody who can give me this current liabilities that I would need in my Springate model? I need the current liabilities. I need the current liabilities. We said 30 minutes, and therefore you guys must be really quite chap. You must be quite chap. You must be quite chap. 1441. I'm being told it's 1441 point. Or you don't want us to use decimals, Or you don't want us to use decimals. 1441 point what? Who is telling me the truth? Remember, it is 2/7. 2/7 times 50/44. Because you see, it is 2:5. 2:5. So then proportionately, this will be 7 if you add that. So it'll be 2/7 is the current. So 1441.14. Thank you so much. So up to here, are we together, ladies and gentlemen? I need current liabilities. In Springate model, we need current liabilities. Up to here, are we together? Are we really together? Thank you so much. Then we can continue. I don't even need those non-current. I only need current. So using Springate model, assess the financial health of the company. Normally, you will be given those equations. You can see they have given us the Z under Springate, which is 1.03A plus 3.07B plus 0.66C plus 0.4D. And they'll give you how to get this A, B, C, and D. They'll give you. So then the first thing we need to do is to get those ratios, A up to D. Try getting them yourselves. Try getting them yourselves. So the spring gate ratios. The spring gate ratios. So we have A. So you can see A there. A, ladies and gentlemen, A, this A, they have told us it is net working capital over total assets. Net working capital over total assets. So are you able to see the net working capital? Yes. Yeah, please, can somebody share that working, or rather the question with that ninja in the group? The net working capital, somebody who has that PDF, 1777. It's negative, net working capital is negative, over total assets are 49, 579, total assets. Yeah, so then please give me, this will be negative 0 point something. Negative 0.0358. 0.0358. That is A. Then we go to B. How do we get B? This examiner has given you how to do that. It's operating profit. It is operating profit over total assets. Please, my good students, I would want to remind you that operating profit is the same as EBIT. Never forget that. Operating profit is the same as EBIT. Earnings before interest and tax. Has this examiner given us these earnings before interest and taxes? Yes. On that table, I can see 2605. All over, in this case again, total assets, which are 49,579. So you're able to give me this number. 0.0525. 0.0525. Thank you very much. From there, we have our C. So our C is net profit before taxes. So basically, this is EBT or PBT, earnings before taxes, meaning that you have deducted interest. You have deducted interest all over current liabilities. All over current liabilities. So then this one here will be the same as EBIT minus interest, all over current liabilities. So the EBIT is the one you guys have given me here, 2605. So remember, this figure is in shillings thousands, minus the interest. Are you able to see the interest? Are you able to see the interest in this question? Interest is 905. It has to be in thousands as well. So minus 905 all over the current liabilities that you guys gave me. I remember you gave me current liabilities here. Please remind me the figure. I can't remember exactly. The current liabilities, you gave me a figure. Thanks, Lynette. Current liabilities, you did give me a figure. 1441. 1441 point. 1441 point. 1441 or 1442? It was 1441, isn't it? 1442, I don't know. 1442.14. So can you kindly give me the final answer then? No, I'm not supposed to. It's supposed to be a minus 905 over 1442.14. Look at me now. Look at me now. Look at me now. So somebody called Ishmael is giving me 1 point. Let's clear the air here. Is this supposed to be 1442 or 1441? Let's clear the air here first. I know the difference is immaterial. 1441, yeah, I thought so. 1441, yes, I thought so. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah. So then now give me the final answer. So the final answer, you say 2605 minus 905, 1.1796. 1.1796. So we go to the very last one. The very last one is D. D, they want me to get sales over total assets. Sales over total assets. So the sales that we have here, sales figure is 25,678. 25,678. We divide this by the total assets, which are 49,579. 49,579. 49,579. So it's 0.51. 79. There's a question there. 0.5179. Yeah, there is a question here. Interest. So the interest, you can see interest is given in that paragraph. After the table, the company is currently paying interest on a long-term debt instrument amounting to 905 in thousands. For compatibility, that will be 905. So I hope, Archer, you have seen the interest on the paragraph after the table. And then what about the current liabilities? Current liabilities, you're told on the same paragraph that the total liabilities is constituted in the ratio of 2:5 between current and non-current. So current is 2 out of 7. So current liability will be 2 out of 7 of the total liabilities, which were 5044. Like that. That's how we got those figures. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, having then gotten this, I would want us to go and plug them in. The Z equation, the spring gate Z, the spring gate Z. So we plug them in, the spring gate, the spring gate Z, the spring gate Z. So spring gate Z, what do we have there? We can see it is 1.03A plus 3.07B, 3.07B plus 0.66C, 0.66C plus 0.4. Yeah. So then this one here will be 1.03A. A already we have it, minus 0.0358 plus 3.07B. B we have it somewhere. It was 0.0525 plus 0.66C. C is 1.17796 plus 0.4D. And the D happens to be 0.5179, which then will end up giving us what figure, you ninjas? So I'm being given a figure of 1.0392. Let me see whether there is anybody who is able to confirm that figure. $1.11. I'm told it is 1.11. I'm told it is 1.11, like that. 1.11. Is everybody able to get that figure of 1.11? 1.11. Great. Great. Thank you so much. Great. And if you are getting this figure, we are told in this case here, if whatever Z you are getting is less than 0.862, this is a number that you must cram. For Springgate, it's a number that you must cram. If it is less than 0.862, the firm is illiquid. The firm is financially distressed. Ours is more than 0.862. So you must cram this number. Yeah, this 1.11 is bigger. It's bigger compared to 0.86 what year 2. So meaning that the organization is very liquid. So that number, unfortunately, you have to cram it. Unfortunately, you have to cram that number. There are many things to be crammed. So this number is bigger than the one that we have here, the Z that we have here for the company is bigger than the threshold. This is the threshold. So anytime you have a Z which is more than this, it means that your firm is liquid. It is not financially distressed. It is not bankrupt. This company is not bankrupt. The company is not bankrupt. The number to cram is 0.862. 0.862. That's the threshold for bankruptcy. That is the hurdle. If you pass via that hurdle, yeah, 0.862, you have to cram that one. You must cram that one. There are also numbers that you also need to cram. There are not very many. You see, like for ultimate Z score, it is normally, it used to be 1.823, eh? But now they have reduced this. They discovered this is not working very well. Nowadays, it is 1.8 to 2.7. This Altman is 1.8 to 2.7. And if you allow Mwalimu will be able to take you to a different question because we agreed. We agreed. I'm going to show you how I got this. We agreed we are finishing at 8:30, isn't it? We agreed we are finishing at 8:30. So I have to do another question. And then please remember, up to your exams, this Sunday 7 a.m. class is going to be compulsory. We are going to make it compulsory. It shall be there throughout. And everybody should be attending this class because we must burst. So as I show this ninja how I got the current liabilities, let's open April 2024 question number 4C. April 2024 question number 4C. Now, Edna, if you look at this paragraph, there is a paragraph which is splitting the total liability into current and non-current. There's a paragraph there. There's a paragraph immediately after the table telling us that the total liabilities are 50/44. But these liabilities are to be split into current liability and non-current liability in the ratio of 2:5. Remember, this is the total liability. Yeah, 2:5. So it will be, current will be 2/7 because 2 plus 5 is 7. 2/7. So it will be 2/7 times this 50/44. If you do that way, you get 1141.14. That's how you got the current liability figure. I hope that is helpful. I hope that is helpful. That's how we got the figure. Interpretation, remember, it's about you cramming this concept of what here? 0.862. Yeah. So once you have gotten, like now we have gotten 1 point, assuming we got something like 0.6. You see now 0.6 is less than this. Would have said our firm is bankrupt. Our firm is bankrupt. But if we get in this case here something that is more, like now we got 1.11, it's more than this 0.862. So automatically that means that our organization is doing very well. Our company is doing very well. Yeah, normally, and when they bring this split gate, we still get students who are really complaining. So students are saying that they have already done this question. Let me check. Students are saying that Mwalimu, this one we have done it. We did this question yesterday. This of April 2024 question 4C. Is it true? Let me choose another one. So let's do December 2022 question number 4B. December 2022 question number 4B. December 2022 question number 4B. December 2022, question number 4B. Are we there? December 2022, question number 4B. Are we there? Yeah. So December 2022, question number 4B. Yeah. This is about the Altman's Z-score model. Altman's Z-score model. Altman's Z-score model. Yeah, the question here will be December 2022, question number 4B. December 2022, question number 4. Question 4B. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, quite fast there. We should be able to know that Altman's Z-score model, yeah, uses five ratios to predict corporate bankruptcy. It uses 5 ratios to predict corporate bankruptcy. And these 5 ratios, we normally use this acronym, WAREMAS, 5 ratios. So we have WO, R, E, M, and then we have in this case here, S. So this will be X1, X2, X3, X4, X5, like that. So X1, ladies and gentlemen, is WO, meaning working capital ratio. Working capital. X2 is R, standing for retained earnings. Yeah. Then we have X3. X3 is E, standing for EBIT. Then we have X4. X4 is MA, which stands for market value of shares. Market value of shares. Market value of shares. Then we have X5. X5 is S, standing for sales. Ladies and gentlemen, when a young kid is born, these kids, whenever it comes to them pronouncing their first words, the very first words these kids will pronounce will be like this. I don't know what word your firstborn was able to pronounce when they started talking. They never said mama. They say tata. They say tata. Tata. I don't know. And this applies even if this kid is a Mzungu. Even if this kid is a Mzungu. Yeah, tata. Like that. So the same case here, we use ta, here, except TL. And where I come from, Tata is Baba. Baba. Even South Africa, whatever, Tata is Baba. Where Ta stands for total assets. Total assets. TL stands for total what here? Total liabilities. Total liabilities. Or in Kikuyu auntie, eh? All right. This whiteboard. Yeah. So please let me know once you guys are able to write up to here. Let me know once you guys are able to. Somebody is asking whether preference dividends is part of liabilities. whether preference dividends is part of liabilities. Of course, yes. The moment you have been able to declare a dividend, it will be part of what here? Liabilities. Just like this question that you were to do, which you have told me you did, preference share capital is normally added to the total liabilities. Preference share capital is normally added to the total liabilities. Reason being, remember, preference share capital attracts what we call a fixed return. Whether you're making a profit or not, preference shareholders must be paid their dividends. So people say that even if we are paying dividends to these people, they're not taking any equity risks. This is like a debt. That is why preference shareholders are normally refunded back their money. So finance nowadays takes preference share capital to be part of liabilities. You add. Let's not confuse things. Let's come back here. So now I can see they have written this, and I can see I only have 3 minutes. So then, ladies and gentlemen, what we shall do, we have 3 companies. So normally what we shall do, please listen and listen to me very well. We are examiners. We have been examiners before. I'm no longer an examiner nowadays. And as an examiner, I would want to play this game with you. Yeah, it's football. You know, football. So I would want to play this game with you in a way that I will be able to kick the ball the other side, and you being the goalkeeper, you jump in the opposite direction. That is when the examiner will be able to say, I've done some good job. Yeah. So then I will be able, because I know that every student is going to this exam having crammed ORMs. So what I will do, I will interchange these things, but give them a formula. You can see like now here, look at this question very well. They have told you X1 is working capital over total assets. Very good. X2 retained earnings over total assets. X3 is EBIT over total assets. Up to here, we are together. That I'll be able to play ball. But now look at X4. They have told me that X4, to them, this, what I'm calling X5 here, is their X4. The moment I do that, I'm so sure that great lady goalkeeper of mine there, I can even sympathize with that lady, goalkeeper friend of mine there, because that lady for sure, she will in this case here dash in the opposite direction as the ball in this case here enters like this. Direct. Just that small swap. And that is why I normally tell my students, whenever it comes to you having done an exam and you are calling Mwalimu, never ever thank me, never tell me that Mwalimu, that exam was very easy. Yeah, if you say the exam was very easy on phone, I'll always go quiet. Because inside me, I know there is a possibility of this. Instead of these results coming like this, they could easily come like what here? Like this. Yeah. So Alfred is asking which ball. This man must be having a crazy mind, eh? This must be a crazy man. Ni kama mwingine alinibox sasa, nilikuwa nasema mambo ya Tuju, akaniambia ati mwalimu kugongewa ni constant. Sasa chini mko na akili na gani? But I understand you guys are Gen Zs. You are Gen Zs. I have to know that we are living during your time. Yeah. Great. So then let's do this. So now what we want to do is to calculate X1 for those 3 companies at the same time. So we have X1 for A, B, C. Yeah, we shall calculate for these companies simultaneously, X1. So remember that X1 is working capital over total assets, over TAR, total assets. So for A, are you able to see the working capital for A? A, I can see the working capital is 4,000. B, the working capital is 2,000. C, the working capital is 6,000. So divide. So are you able to see the company's total assets? For A, I can see the total assets for A, they are 200,000. For B, total assets, ladies and gentlemen, total assets are 100,000. Are you able to see those figures? Are they able to see those figures, these ninjas? For C, it is 800,000. Quite huge. Quite huge. So I want us to get X1 for all of them. I want us to get X1 for all of them. Ndio mimi nashangaa Maslin. Hawaogopi imagine our Gen Z. Wanaogopa tu kujimoto peke yake. So I hope these guys are able to follow. I hope these guys are able to follow. So Maslin has given me the first one is 0.02. 0.02. How about the second one? 0.02 as well. 0.02 as well. And the last one, 0.75, 0.0, yeah, 0.075. Thank you so much. Then in this case here, get ahead and give me X2 now. So X2, I know the formula. X2, I know X2. Don't use the formula that I gave you, the Watermas. Whenever the examiner gives you the formula, wants to confuse you, follow his formula. Follow his formula. Retained earnings divided by total assets. So retained earnings for A, I can see 60,000. Retained earnings for boy, I can see 20,000 and 20,000. Yeah, and then total assets are the same. I would write 200K, 100K, because I want to save space, 800K. So is there somebody who is able to give me these numbers? 0.3, 0.2, 0.05, 0.025. Wait, go to X3. So X3, this examiner has given me the formula. X3, this examiner has given me the formula. It is EBIT over total assets. So look for EBIT. I can see earnings before interest and tax. This is 10,000. 0, negative 30,000. All over those same total assets, 200K, 100K. Then we have here 800K. So is there somebody who can give me these answers very fast? The first one from 𝐂𝐨𝐻𝐿𝐿 is 0.05. From 𝐂𝐨𝐻𝐿𝐿 is 0, the board here. The first one is 0.05. The second, of course, is 0. Thank you. The last one will be negative something, isn't it? Negative 0.0375. 0.0375. Thank you. Then, ladies and gentlemen, we have in this case here X4. So X4, what are they telling us about X4? So X4, please go by the formula. Whenever the examiner gives you the formula, never go there with your chest saying it is Watermas. Who is Watermas? The examiner's formula prevails. The examiner's formula prevails. It is sales over total assets. Sales over total assets. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have here our sales figures have been given somewhere there. I can see 200,000. I can see the last column. Is it last column? Yeah. 120,000 and 900,000. All over total assets. Total assets are 200K, 100K, 800K. So then can you kindly give me these figures? A, 1. This is 1.2. And then lastly, we have not 1. The last one. The last one. 1.125. 1.125. And then now we can very comfortably now proceed to X5. Very comfortably. Let's go to X5. So X5, they've given us the formula. They've told us X5, ladies and gentlemen, X5 is market value of equity all over total liabilities. Total liabilities. All over book value of debt, which is the same as total liabilities. Total liabilities. Yeah, and the market value of equity has really been given. Market value of equity has been given. So the market value of equity, what we have there? Yeah, 20,000. Yeah. Market value of equity is column number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,000 and 48,000. And 48,000. So you divide this, divide this, divide this. So then 20,000 divided by total liabilities have also been given there. We have 120,000. A 100. No, 80 and 740. So are you able to give me these numbers? Very ugly numbers. Very ugly numbers. 0.16. 0.1667. Very ugly numbers. 0.0625. 0.0625. And then lastly, what do we have here? 0.065. 0.065. Now, I want you guys then to do me a favor. Now, I want you to give me Z score for A, Z score for B, and Z score for C. Let's get those Z scores as we disappear. Let's get those Z scores as we disappear. Now we have everything. Now we have everything. Now it's upon you. Give me the Z score. Give me those Z scores. Check on for C Limited. Lincoln, which one is that? X1 for C Limited. X1 for C Limited. Somebody saying X1 for C Limited. That this is supposed to be 0.0, eh? I know Lincoln cannot be wrong. It's supposed to be 0.0075. So then is there somebody who is able to give me the Z score for A? Let's see. Z score for A. Anybody who is able to give me the Z score for A? You see, already it is given there. You know how to get it. The formula is given there. The formula for getting this Z score is given there. It is 1.2x. So I take 1.2 times x1 for A. I'm going down. 0.02 plus 1.4x2. So we have here 1.4x2. So plus 1.4x2 for A. Remember, I'm moving with A. AX2 is 0.3 plus 3.3, 3.3, 3.3, x4 for A. X4 for A is 1. Plus, ladies and gentlemen, 1. No. That's supposed to be x3. X3, sorry for that. 0.05. Plus 1. Plus 1 times x4, which is 1 as well. Plus, lastly, from the formula we have plus 0.6, x5, where x5 is 0.1667. So is there somebody who can give us this Z score for A? The formula will be given. So A, I'm being told, is 1.7092. Is there anybody who is able to get this 1.7092 for A? Yeah, somebody has confirmed that. So please go and do the same for B. Z score for B. Do the same. Now I've given you the way to do it. Then for B, you use that formula the way it is, you substitute everything. You substitute everything. Margaret already has gotten for C 16, 525. Z score for C. Margaret already has 16, 425 with a decimal. 16, 525. 16, 525 with a decimal. And another good ninja is giving me 15, 415 for B. For B. Another ninja is giving me 15, 415. Please confirm those answers. Tell me whether those answers are correct. Tell me whether those answers are correct. Please confirm them. C is 1.6525. Margaret has confirmed 1.5. Yeah. And then now we have the Altman scale. The Altman's scale. So here, bankrupt. The company is bankrupt. Here, the company is 50% bankrupt. So as we go, bankruptcy reduces. Here, 0% bankrupt or successful or liquid. So this is a number line that you must cram. This scale, you must cram it. This scale, you must cram it. So using this scale, can someone talk to me about farm A? Is farm A a bankrupt farm? Or is it 50% bankrupt? Or is it successful? If it's Z is in this region, bankrupt. If Z is on this region, all are bankrupt. Yes, because you see 1.709 is less than 1.8. This is less than 1.8. The 1.5 is also less than 1.8. 1.6 is also less than 1.8. So meaning, ladies and gentlemen, that these organizations, all of them are what here? They are bankrupt. They are financially distressed. I would not want to become a CEO of any of those companies. All are bankrupt. All are bankrupt. So is that okay, ladies and gentlemen? So I think if we stop there, we'll have done this session justice. Would have done justice to this session, and everybody will be going out to church happy. All right. Cheers. See you later. Bye. Thank you. Yeah, blessed day. Bye-bye.